Why this book, Anthony, and why did you think that now was a good time to publish this?
I didn't think now was a good time. I thought a long time ago was a better time to do this. I had a publishing company reach out to me and ask for a book, and I gave them the outline for this book, and I cobbled together some words to show them sort of the direction that it would take. And they hated it. They didn't understand the book at all. This is going back, I don't know, 4 years maybe. And I just kept writing, and I thought, you know what? We'll part ways. I don't even need to write a book. I'm doing great without a book. And I wasn't even sure, is a book even still a great medium? I mean, you can read on the internet every day. It's in your pocket. It's with you everywhere you go. A book sort of puts borders around some idea, and it's a nice artifact, as Seth Godin would call it. But I didn't know if I needed to do that. So I just set it aside. And then I had another company reach out, and I said no to them. And then I decided, okay, people are asking me for a book, so I'll give them a book. I'll just self-publish. And I wrote the book, and I decided to self-publish. And I decided to write the book specifically because what I saw was that there were people who were struggling to get results, and they couldn't pinpoint why it was. And their manager couldn't pinpoint why they were struggling to get those results either. So I started looking and realizing, this is over the course of many years, you just start writing down your ideas. I started to recognize that the boss would say, that salesperson's not a good rep, they can't make their quota. And then I would look at them and say, actually, that's too broad. That's not what's wrong with them. And in fact, they just have no self-discipline, and they really have no business acumen. Those are the two things holding this person back. And nobody's working to develop the self-discipline because they're not even talking about it. And nobody's talking about business acumen because nobody teaches it. Now we send salespeople to work from home. They don't get to talk to anybody. They're not rubbing up against people in a bullpen. They're not hearing the conversations and picking the stuff up by osmosis. So it's harder for them. Or I would look and say, this person takes no initiative. They have all the right ideas, but they do nothing with them at all. And they avoid accountability for results. So I can see two attributes that we're missing. And I would just keep track of the attributes. And actually the book started with 21 elements, but the first editor I worked with cut 4 elements out of this. I'm just saying that to intrigue you, because at some point I'm going to put like the missing 4 elements on the website so I can capture your email address and put you on my Sunday newsletter. But that I noticed, and I thought, oh, well, then we'll bring your friends. We look at people through this narrow lens of they're either a good performer or they're not. That's not true. And if sports looked at athletes that way, there wouldn't be great athletes. I mean, they work for a long time fixing the parts of an athlete that are broken. You know, they're not good enough. So we work on this area with them. We run drills, we focus. The military, they rehearse all the time. They're constantly training. Artists are constantly training. In business, though, we think, well, you worked in sales, so we'll drop you off and you know how to sell, so you're going to be fine by yourself. And that's not fair. It's not fair to the person. It's not fair to the client, because that's who we're dropping these people off in front of. And it's not fair to the company. So I wrote this book because I wanted something that a salesperson, if you really want to improve, if you really want to get better, if you're willing, if you've got that in your heart, like I'm willing to do the work, then I'll give you the work to do. I've got the work in that book that if you want to do that work, at the end of every chapter, there's exercises, there's a workbook that you can get, there's video modules. If you want to do this work, you can get better. And you don't need anybody to help you with it. You can do it on your own. Great if you have a manager who bought the book for you and they're going to do this work with you, or great if you have peers that you get together and you decide you're going to use this as a book club. But if you have to, you can read the book and do the exercises and get strong.